Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I just thought I'd come here for a second and talk to you for a moment. And you know, some of the things I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to term this and deem this as reality talk. And I want you to listen to me real close. Number one, life is entirely too short to be running around stressed out, worrying about what people think, about what people say about you, and to be overly concerned about external measures and matters that are outside of your scope of influence. And I need you to listen to me real close. We live in a world of media where everything is vying for your attention, and I do mean everything. We have very few people that are really truly trying to educate us to the reality of what things are going on. And you often hear me, especially if you listen to me at any length of time whatsoever at all. You often hear me try to bring people into focus. And how I do that is I question everything. I mean, question every single thing. That's just in order to begin the thought process of thinking. Because we have a lot that's going on in our minds. We have a lot that's going on in this world. We have a lot that's going on in this system that is not being disclosed to us. There are the powers that be that are a whole lot more intelligent, and I'll be the first to admit that, than you and I both. And they understand a lot of things that we don't understand. Just for instance, myself in my own life, in order to balance or to at least overcome and to be victorious against all the things that are fighting for my attention in my mind, as well as the things that are going on external, outside, you know, of the scope and reach of myself personally. I am a student of the Word, student of the Bible, and I find a lot of pleasure as well as a lot of pain in being a student of the Word, especially when reality hits me, when I figure out something about myself or I discover something about myself that I didn't know, that I thought I knew, but I didn't know. Hey, I tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you that change is very painful. But be forewarned about school, be forewarned about the news media, and especially be forewarned about religion. And of course, I know that some of you would automatically assume that when I make statements like that, you're thinking automatically that I'm a religious person. No, I do things religiously. There are things that I'm very religious about, but I'm not a religious person by any stretch of an imagination. I'm a person of faith. I'm a man of faith. That is what I am. I guess I'm saying all this in a moment of time, a moment of time that we have available to us. I guess I'm saying all this because I really truly want us to start thinking. I also want to present to you that whenever you inundate your mind with a bunch of TV advertisements, news media, no matter whatever it is, that's trying to take you off the center of attention and focus of you, your reality, what's going on around you, your friends, your sphere of influence. I mean, let's just tell the truth. Do we really truly care about Brad Pitt? Do we really truly care about who wins the Super Bowl? I mean, do you really? What kind of bearing is that going to have on your life? Do you really truly care? I don't care one bit. I really truly don't care. And I hate to sound negative and pessimistic, but I don't care one thing that happens 2 miles away from this house. I can't. It's impossible for me. With that said, I do care about people who get it, who understand, who listen to me. I deeply care about them because we're connected. We're connected because we all agree on the perspective of faith. I'm talking about the ones who listen to me. They contact me. I speak with them. I talk with them. They're part of this ministry, whether they be here straightway or 100 or 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 miles away. I care about them deeply, and they're constantly in my thoughts and in my mind. That's the reason why I have a radio broadcast every Friday night. because that radio broadcast for a solid almost 3 hours every Friday night, I am doing nothing but answering questions about people, their lives, what's going on with them personally, how to better their lives, how to get a grasp of what's going on, and to improve the quality of their lives. That's what this thing is all about. So I am deeply concerned, and let me just put it like this, about those who are concerned about me. Does that make any sense? Because they are concerned about me, I'm concerned about them, and how that works is because they made themselves available. They made themselves known. I mean, I'm on here. I have an outlet to where I'm trying to reach out to you, the people. And I have many different ways that I try to reach out to the people, because I know that there's everything out here in this world that is vying for your mind right now. This world is doing everything that it can to grab a hold of your attention and place stuff into your mind, place stuff into your conscious, place stuff into your thought patterns, all to try to gain some portion of you that you don't have any control over whatsoever at all. And I resent and I fight against that. And my interest is in the way, the faith, and that's just the truth. I hate to see people hurting. I hate to see them deceived. And I hate to see people in pain. But I also know this, that in this reality, I have people that hate me, that have chosen to be my enemies, even though I don't even know who they are. I mean, usually if I have an enemy, I like to know them face to face. I like to know who my enemy is and who I'm fighting against. But we're living in a total different time now. I've got enemies out there, the people I've never even met, never even set my eyes on, never even spoke to face, never done anything to. But hey, after all, that is their prerogative. If they choose to allow me to be their enemy, that's their prerogative. But I do know this. Life is too short, because the one who angers you is the one who controls you. And I don't think that any of us should be under the influence or control of anybody. You think about the drugs that are going on in our country, and look at the mind. It's like today that people actually cannot rationally think things through. It's like if the news media, if the government, or the police, or anybody in what they perceive to be authority, if they tell them something, they swallow it hook, line, and sinker. A person could be what they call a certified, qualified pastor. Now, that depends on where you get that certificate from, who gave you the qualification, and by what authority. Because the state has authority, the institutions has authority, then the supreme king of the universe, he has authority as well. So now the real reality and the real question is, who do you derive your authority and power from? I believe that we're in a spiritual world. I really, truly do. I just believe that many of us are disconnected from it. We're inundated and they have trained us over and over and over again to say, you know, anytime we question something, it's always a conspiracy theory. But when the truth is, when you see the facts, it is. I heard Dorian Yates say that it's a conspiracy fact. That's exactly what it is, because the facts is what tell you the truth. But now we're at the time that people have become so ruthless and non-caring. I would hate, even though I say I'm talking about right now, 2 miles away, what can I do? I can't, just by me caring about what's going on, it's not going to change the reality of what's happening. But if I'm driving down the road and I end up 2 miles away from this house and I see someone that is in need, I mean, I'm the type of person that I can't watch someone be in need. I'll give you an example. Sister Carol and I, we were headed to Gallatin, Tennessee one day, and we came up on an accident. And the accident, what happened is that the state trooper has just got finished writing a ticket. And he didn't check his rearview mirror. He just turned around. You know how they turn around in the middle of the road? He just turned around in the middle of the road, and this college student T-boned him. Bam! She ended up in the ditch. Car turned over on its side. Couldn't get out. the state trooper. He was locked in, couldn't move. I asked him how he was doing, and that's one thing I noticed about him too, because I'm very observant. I went up to him and I asked him, how are you doing? Because I wanted to check him because he was the first person I got to. The other call's way down the road. And I asked him, I said, how are you doing, sir? And I noticed that even though he couldn't move, he still had his hand on his gun. And so I began to question and ask myself, what are they teaching or how are they training these people? I don't understand. How are they training these people today? I don't understand what they're doing with these state troopers and stuff today. It's just utterly appalling. It's off the chain. I don't know what's going on with them that they respond that way, but that's how he responded nevertheless. So I turned around from there and I ran over to the ditch, and there's this college girl, you know, she was crying and screaming. She was locked in the thing, the vehicle. I told my wife to get on the phone and call 911, get some help out here. I jumped down in the ditch. The door couldn't get out and stuff. And if I can't remember, I know I got her out. I think I busted the window out. If I didn't, I dislodged the door. Pretty heavy. Whatever it is, I got her out. And boy, I tell you what, that young lady, she grabbed a hold of me and she hugged me. Oh man, I thought she was going to break my back, saying thank you very much. And I told her, you need to calm down. You need to go sit down right here and lay down here for a second. All the while, people are just going on in traffic, flying by because nobody's out there directing traffic. I had her sit down. I had a trooper right there. I started directing traffic. Until some policemen or somebody came up on the scene. When they came up on the scene, it's amazing because nobody said nothing to me because I had my firearm on my side. Nobody said a word. I didn't know that after I had jumped out of the ditch, that because I usually carry my firearm concealed, but I didn't know after I jumped out of the ditch that my shirt was over my firearm and it was being shouldered and exposed. So I assumed that people thought I was a police officer. But anyway, the sheriffs and them showed up and they looked at me and they said, "You must have been a police officer, been in the military before." I said, "No, I served a little bit." And I took my wife and after I saw that they had control of everything, we went on down the road. But the reality of it is that there must have been, and I'm just giving an estimate right here, there must have been, prior to me directing traffic, must have been, I don't know, maybe 100-something cars stopped by, and nobody else was concerned about whatever happened to anybody else. I remember one time Brother Shane and I was taking Brother Shane to work. There was a car turned over up here on Old Scottsville Road, and gas was leaking out. Gas was leaking out. Smoke was coming up from the car. And I noticed everybody was standing around. And here we go again. What was the problem? There was another girl trapped in a car upside down. And I told Brother Shane, I forgot what he did, but I ran over there real quick without any forethought. I ran over there real quick. I could tell that the smoke was coming up and I could tell that gas was leaking. And I ran over there and I ripped that door open. And I think I broke the door. It wouldn't hurt the car. The car was already damaged anyway. And I pulled that person out of there. And I walked over to Brother Shane after it's all said and done. About this time, the fire department, everybody came. And I couldn't help but to question myself again. I asked Brother Shane, I said, man, I said, people are out of touch. They have literally, truly lost it, where they don't have a lick of care about nobody, no matter what. In the time we living in now, I just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it, but it also gives me and lets me understand, know the signs of the time. But, you know, I cannot help but be fond of the people who are in the faith like I am. And then those of you, whether you be in the faith or not in the faith, because you listen to me and hear my words, what I have to say, and consider what I'm saying, hey, that connects us. And I think the Most High that we can develop good, healthy, sound relationships, because life is entirely too short for all this drama and all this hell that is going on in this world that we're living in now. So, hey, speak kind words to people. Be kind and nice towards someone. And may you get a lot of understanding, as well as a good, peaceful life in the process.